All right, so now I'm back. Of course, what do you know? But I took a pause there, stretched, I'm back. Here's a really cool cultural universal. I love this one. C.S. Lewis, you know, the guy that wrote The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or the Chronicles of Narnia, I guess they're calling it in the movies now. He was a real Christian. I mean, he was interesting. In fact, in the Chronicles of Narnia, they make reference to something called the deep magic that everybody knows, okay? And in his book, which was, of course, a children's book, he's making reference to this idea called universal morality. That is to say, according to C.S. Lewis, and this is just, I'm off the track of facts at this point, okay? This is opinion. It's very cool, very interesting. But this notion of universal morality, that is to say, according to C.S. Lewis, we all share an inborn sense of right and wrong. We all share a sense of good and evil. We know what's right and we know what's wrong. But according to C.S. Lewis, what is free will is your ability to break this rule. You know what's right and what's wrong. Of course, we all know Freud called this stuff the id and the ego and all of this nonsense, and then the superego and the conscience and all this crap. But what did C.S. Lewis argue is that we have this shared sense of universal principles, moral principles. And these shared moral principles, be they put there by God or evolution, depends on who you want to talk to and who you want to say, we find that this universal morality does in fact influence our social behaviors. Okay? However, as I said, we all know it's wrong to steal and kill. But some of us choose to ignore that law. And that's why we need the Ten Commandments, and that's why we need the American judicial system, because everybody knows right from wrong, but many people choose to ignore what they know is wrong. Okay? In other words, as C.S. Lewis argues, some people would say, morality is culturally based. What's moral in my, that's so judgmental. No, according to C.S. Lewis, there is no such thing as culturally based morality. It's universal. There is a single sense of right and wrong and no deviating from it. Sounds pretty fundamental, doesn't it? Of course, in addition to genetics, we also have other biological influences, including, of course, hormone levels, chemical imbalances, things like this. We find that if we go to prison, just take a quick stab. I'm talking men's prison. I don't know what the hell's going on in women's prison. Go to a man's prison, and you pull out the men in prison, and you know what you're going to find is that by and large, these men are young males with high testosterone levels. Does that mean I'm saying that having a high level of testosterone causes people to commit crimes? No. I'm not going to say that because all of a sudden that opens the door to it's not my fault. Well, it is your fault. Oh. I had a crown come out today, and I hope it's going to stay, and it's not staying. That's all right. You just got a free dental lesson. So anyway, other hormones can influence as well. When women have babies, certain hormones are secreted by the mother, which makes them more sensitive to the sound of their own baby. I mean, all kinds of funky stuff. Our behavior is controlled in many ways. It's beyond our free will. There's a lot of biology. That's the point. I love this, but I don't know. I guess you can read all of that. But it's very cool. Cultures arose. All right, that is to say, humans all over the world have the same kinds of problems. We got to eat. We got to get safe. We got to make shelter. We got to find a woman, if that's what you're looking for. And it turns out that we do so in different environments. Some do it in the Arctic, and some do it in, all kinds of places. And what culture is the unique solution to those universal problems in this particular environment. So different cultures arise as a result of having to solve universal problems in a unique environment. Anyway, I like that, but sort of off again. Let me just go like this. All right. So not only are we triggered by our biology, but we're also triggered by where we grow up, or influenced by where we grow up. Here's a simple question. Do you think it's wrong for unmarried couples to bear children? In India, it's almost unheard of. In Iceland, what do they care? All right? So clearly the culture that you grow up in will influence your social attitudes and social behaviors and social beliefs. You don't have free will. What kinds of things might be shaped? How we define beauty, how we define social justice, whether we're reserved or expressive. All kinds of different things are shaped by where we grow up. I want to get through this, guys. A little broken tooth don't do nothing. A norm is a standard for accepted and expected behavior. Norms prescribe what is correct, what is proper. Very interesting. Say, for example, when I grew up in Wisconsin, if there was a 9 o'clock class, 8:50, the whole class was there and the professor was set up. Here in Texas Wesleyan, if there's a 9 o'clock class, 9:20 and half the class hasn't shown up yet. That's just not cool. But that's what a norm is, a standard of what's accepted and expected. I love this cartoon. Women kiss women goodnight. Men kiss women goodnight. But men do not kiss men goodnight, especially in Armonk. I don't know where Armonk is, but it sounds like Connecticut or something like that. You just see the look of this couple back there, this look as they're just like, oh my God, what did this guy do? So clearly not acceptable. If you were in Europe, you might get away with it, right? You might be, in fact, not just get away with it, but it might be expected of you. I like this one. This is very cool on norms. In this study here, we've got this person walking in yellow. I don't know what color it is coming up here. Anyway, this person coming down the street, a person walking down the sidewalk. Here is a person that works for the experimenter. And this person is going to do one of three things. As they approach and cross paths, they're either going to avoid looking into their eyes. Don't look at them. Or going to glance at them. Or going to look at them and smile. Okay? This person's like, I know. This person back here is going to judge what this person is doing. Okay? So when you go to Japan and do this study, if this person avoids looking, this person does not smile. If this person glances, this person does not smile. If this person looks at him and smiles, this person does not smile. Japanese don't smile. In America, clearly, if you avoid looking at them, they don't smile at you. If you glance at them, they smile. If you look at them and smile, they smile. Okay? It just, they respond to you. All right, whatever. Trust me, if I take this out, you will not want to see it. All right. I guess I have to. So, I'll just solve the problem like this. Part of our biology is gender. And that is to say, there is a biological truth to gender. Compared to males, the average female has 70% more body fat, 40% less muscle, 5 inches shorter, 40 pounds less, things like that. The average female is more sensitive to smells and sounds, etc. Compared to females, the average male is slower to enter puberty, quicker to die, things like that. 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with ADHD, things like this. Men are 5 times more likely to be struck by lightning. It's because only us men are stupid enough to try to fix a roof in the rain. So there's a biological truth to gender, and this biological truth does influence us. Say, for example, all right, in your little genetic dance, mom has chromosomes, dad has chromosomes. They throw them all together and make a little mishmash dance. And it turns out on one of those special chromosomes, the sex chromosome, mom has 2 X chromosomes and dad has an X and a Y chromosome. So when they do a little genetic dance, mom will always give an X, dad could give an X, and dad could give a Y. If dad gives an X, then you got a girl, and if dad gives a Y, then you have a boy. So Henry VIII chopped off how many heads over this? clearly he was not right. Okay? It was his fault, not hers. Okay. As we said, part of gender is, of course, hormones. One of the most important hormones is testosterone. All right, testosterone. Both males and females have testosterone, but males tend to have more. And it's very interesting. Say, for example, during development, if a fetus has the chromosome composition XY and therefore is programmed to be a male, then it will stimulate the mother to release testosterone at a particular point in the pregnancy, which will then make the male's stuff fall out of its body. So sometimes what happens is this little flush of testosterone doesn't come through, and therefore the males, and so the doctors pick up the baby, they hold it up, and they go, "It's a girl. I got no Jimmy, therefore it must be a girl." And so we find that these same kids then, when they enter puberty, and this flush of testosterone from puberty comes through, that often that will trigger the stuff to fall out of the body. All right. I already talked about aggression. Men are more likely to be aggressive, and testosterone. I mean, the more testosterone a male has, the more aggressive they tend to be. That is not to say it's not my fault. Testosterone did it. Don't even. However, a lot of gender is not just pure biology. A lot of gender has to do with the housing that we grow up in. Where am I? Yeah. A lot. I'm going to, in fact, you know what? It's a good time to stop here, and because I have about 8 minutes after this, and so we'll stop it.